Right, I have now replaced the tatty junction that was behind the garage door with the proper thing screwed to the door frame, just with one screw, but that's enough. And if you can see, because I can't even see what the damn monitor's showing here. Oh yes, there's one wire out the top up here, and I've decided to use two of the wires that go through to the greenhouse because they are a thinner wire than the one coming out of the top, which was the original. So having installed that there, I've got three wires going to the greenhouse from here, or should I say coming from the greenhouse to here, two of which I've used. So I now need to identify the one I've not used at the greenhouse end. So that's easy to do. I just got my test meter, which is just hanging not far away from here. Will I find it? Oh, there it is. Using the continuity function, which you've heard before, on the wires in the lean-to. Now, because the two of the three are connected up here, then of those three, for example the earth wire, I should have a circuit on the two that I have used and no circuit on the one I have not used. And from that I have identified the two that I have used, and then randomly decided to test continuity on the neutral and live, and that was okay. And then, just to be sure, check that there was no connection between either earth and live or earth and neutral. So I found a connection that shouldn't be there. And it turns out, using the meter on the resistance setting, I found a dead short on earth to neutral. So I've had this box again, wherever we are. Can I find it in the darkness? What's that? That's not it, is it? That's the daylight coming through the... Oh, there it is. So I've had that in bits again, and disconnected all the earth wires internally in that box, and then found out which of the three legs was still connected to neutral. And it's the leg back to the main switch in the garage. So we can now flip around here. This is all totally back to front in the viewfinder. And so we've got a problem back here again, which is why I've got the top off. So if I stick that one onto the earth wire, this is the wire coming in to the garage. There's nothing there, so that's on the one to the junction box I've just fitted. So that confirms there's not a problem from this point here back to the greenhouse. The other side of this switch, we've got a problem. Now, I'm sure I just tested this before putting the cover on last time, so I shall look back at that video and see what I did test and what did happen. But anyway, there is now a fault between earth and neutral downstream of this switch. Now, we've only got two circuits, so it's either going to be a problem with the lighting circuit or a problem with the power socket circuit, which is just down here, out of shot. Power sockets and light switch. Oh, I've got the zoom control going the right way for a change. Nice. So I'll do what I did on the other place. I'll disconnect the earths and see which path it leads me down. I could do with some better Hauser routers, but we've got Hauser routers to, oh, I only need to take 2 out, don't I? And everything is isolated. So I shall now put the one with the clamp onto there. That works. Nothing on that one. So it's this one that's the culprit. And that is the power one. Left hand end, power. Well, that's a good start. All the wires going into the bottom of this socket. Can't see a fecking thing. Somewhere around the back of this tripod's an handle. God, Bennett. All these three go into here and there's no grommet on them. So that's rather wondrous, isn't it? So that is connected to neutral. So, well, it's handy enough to get this socket off. There's 2 of these, one here and one at the far end of the garage, and this one is by far the more convenient. So we'll have the lid off that and see if we can find out why neutral is connected to that. If I can get that to sit on there. Right, it's not going to do, is it? Nothing like a bit of, well, if that is turned on, I can connect that up to the top. Well, that is out of the way. I have my connectivity. So we'll spin these screws out. Should I blame my dad immediately? Or is it a dead spider? That is the question. Well, the metal face of this socket is live. Or connected to neutral, should I say. There isn't an earth wire that's fallen off. Oh, the difficulties I have to put up with. So, what's going on in here? That's earth to neutral. Well, all the lives go into the lives, all the earths go into the earths, and all the neutrals go into the neutral. So it's the same plan, isn't it? Disconnect the earth and see where we go from there. already. Got one already. That is that one. So that is the back wire, which is this one. Oh, where the heck's that going? So it is this wire here that is the problem one, which just comes loosely up there, and it's that's connected to the neutral. So let's move my hand lamp. Oh, this is real fun, isn't it? I'm going to stop you for the time being. So there we have the wire that's the problem. It is that one at the back. It goes down there, round here, up here, and then along over the clock. Just to remind you, it is that one. Into the lit area. That one with the clip round it. I'm just going to pause there and move myself. So there we are again, and I've changed my position, carrying on into the darkness, up there, round up there, along here. I'm going to have to move the light, aren't I? So it's that one in there, behind this board. And it's that one that's coming down here. Past that switch socket. And into this socket next to this light bulb. So that's the next spot to get into and see what's going on in there. So I want the front off this socket, so let's get that bulb out of the way. And get my screwdriver. Now I've got the tripod that the camera's on as my light source as well. Right, you can probably hear the continuity meter. Put that on while I'm taking this off. Plenty of wires in here as well. Ah, did you hear that? It bleeped. Right. So if I put those wires into that one, and just do away with this socket. Take that short piece of wire out. Right. So that's coming down. This one is going elsewhere. So before doing anything, I'll test this one that's going elsewhere. Neutral to earth. Oh, and that's where the fault is. So I'll just disconnect, not connect up this other piece now. And here we have the final connection to put power into the garage. One outdoor weatherproof box with a junction inside it, mounted on the wall, and various bottles and jars to stop the water going down the blue pipes. So if we have a look in the garage now, the lights work. Well, two anyway. Perhaps we can get some of these others working, like the one over the mill and that over there. Got one up there with no tube in it, it's a bit out of the way, and we've got one far end of there with no tube in it, but that's even further out of the way. But we can now see what all the junk is in here. Absolute masses of random stuff. And this central island workbench, absolutely covered in it. Toolbox, covered in junk. Shelves, covered in junk. If anybody wants a coil for their car, they're over there. Milling machine here, underneath it piles of junk. Well, it's not really junk, but it needs tidying up. There's even a blower there for last that was used for was melting brass, I think. I'll have to find out what there is really in the tins. The good news is that's our stock of tubes, so there could be some tubes there that we can put in and make work. Yeah, got one over the lathe, the light. You can see the hassle-some lack of floor space in here. Round by the welder, floor space with angle iron all over it. So lots of tidying up to do. Anybody wants some spaghetti? It's in that corner, along with that spaghetti there. You never guess what there is in here. Yeah, gas lamps. Of course, what do you expect? An old bumper. Don't know what that's of, but that can go in the bin. And there's the shelves. Bit overloaded with junk, but not to worry. We've got light, that's a step in the right direction. There's still more light coming in through the door than from the lights. The last electrical fault was that wire there, which was connected into a socket by this light bulb here. You can see where it was, off that socket. So that wire goes up there and across this beam. So I've got to trace that yet, find out what the fault is on the end of it, because it might be on the same circuit that these sockets that are there to feed the grinder, isn't that a website, grinder, and stuff like that. Anyway, general garage wiring is as complete as it needs to be, so that's completing another video. So thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, hate, comment, hit the bell, notifications, and we look forward to seeing me, or not me, in the next video. Look, more fluorescent tubes. Talk about organised, they're all over the blooming place. Mess, mess and more mess. Right, enough. See you next time. Bye. PS. Drill with masonry bit just used to fit the junction box on the wall. See where this drill crops up next, for what purpose.